Happy Monday for sure. I love the I love the music too. I was just saying, we were looking for the music and it came through. We were looking for something for like a podcast intro, and we were looking for something kind of like behind the scenes, factory esque, and we found that, and I was like, it's so quirky and it's neat. So it's just stuck around. I'm like, I need to use that again at some point. So here we go. Yeah, so welcome to another global game night. Tonight we're going to be learning and playing a game, Castles of Burgundy, the dice game. Very popular board game, slightly less popular dice game, but also very popular as well. And one of the first roll and writes that, maybe the second roll and write that I ever played. Yeah, you know, and the craziest thing is I'm a huge fan of trying all different kinds of games. This has been literally on my list to try for a long time, the actual board game, not the dice game. And for whatever reason, you know, it's come across my table, you know, very cheap copies, and I just don't pick it up for some reason. So anyway, it's still on my list to try, but I've played the dice game a few times now, and I'm excited to just, you know, to share that and to teach and play, and it's pretty neat. So but Castles of Burgundy is, especially for a roll and write, it's a little bit crunchier. There's a lot of stuff going on. I feel a little bit of like some Catan influence going on from Castles of Burgundy. The way that they did the dice in this game is really neat. Let me flip over to the components. Here we go. And oh my gosh, I actually need to upload the sheet. Right, in we go. Okay, so if you wanted a high-res version, here's a link. Otherwise, you could have taken a screen grab as well. Okay, we are going to teach the game. So it's been a little bit since I played this one. We got this one out. We were actually in Peru when we first broke it out. So we were traveling abroad or traveling in South America and doing some hiking. And this was a game we played on. It was like an island with a really nice view, and it was fun. So anyway, Castles of Burgundy. In the game, everyone is going to be starting by marking one of the 4 castles on the sheet. The castles are in green. Okay, that is going to be your starting position. When you choose one of your 4 castles, we all would do this simultaneously. When you choose one of your 4 castles, you're going to, I suppose, is it circle or is it mark it off? I think it is circle. Mark it off. We're going to make an X on the castle. So we would make an X on that castle. Okay, so we're saying, okay, we're marking off the little tiny blue symbol. That's showing that we're starting at this castle. Now, the castle that you choose, each castle has a different color symbol on it. That is going to cause you to circle the appropriate color symbol over to the side of the sheet. All right. Circling the top left castle would be blue. The top right castle would be gray. The silver. The bottom left castle would be workers, the orange, and the bottom left castle, and the bottom right castle would be purple, and that is the monks. Okay, so we got monks, silver. I think this one is rivers. Mine and rivers. So those are rivers. So we got monks, we got mines, we got rivers, we have cities which have workers, and then we also have castles. We have one more hex type. It is pastures, and it is the yellow one. So there's 6 different color hexes on this board, and you'll notice that they're in groups, okay? And that's really important here. Now, the way the game's played is it is played over the course of 3 different rounds, right? Rounds are going to be denoted by this top to bottom checkbox over here, these checkboxes. Every time, every round, dice are rolled. We mark off the number of hourglass symbols showing. So if we roll a double hourglass, then we're going to mark off 2 hourglass symbols. If we end up rolling a single hourglass, then we only mark off 1 hourglass symbol. That is the timer for the round. So the round may last a minimum of 5 rounds, a maximum of 10 rounds. Okay, and we're going to play the 3 different rounds in the game. All right, so we're going to be marking all our hourglasses until we fill this column up. At that point, we are going to then score what we have completed well, I guess we will not be able to score any more in that first round, okay? So everything that you complete in the first round can be scored as a first round set of points. Everything that you complete in the second round will be scored as a lesser second round set of points. And everything completed in the third round will be scored as a even lesser third round set of points. So you'll notice here, you'll see a 1 hex, 2 hex, 3 hex, and a 4 hex. You score points in this game by filling in the blank spaces of the hex, of the attached group of colored hexes. So we have 2 here, 2 blue ones, all right? Those are our river hexes. If we were to fill in, for example, let's say a 5 and a 6, and we'll get to this in a bit, that would then, in the first round, score us 4 points immediately, and we would write a 4 on our sheet, okay? Now, if we had done that in the second round, that's only worth 3 points. If we have done that in the third round, that is only worth 2 points. So by completing these color groups of hexes earlier in the rounds, you are going to score more points than you will by completing them later in the rounds. But you'll still score no matter what, okay? All right, so that is the scoring. And you'll notice too, one hex, so the castle is the only area on the sheet with 1 hex. Actually, there's a pasture here too. There's a few ones, okay? So that is 1, 1, and 1. The 2 hex groups will go 4, 3, and 2. The 3 hex groups will go 8, 6, and 4. So it gets progressively more beneficial to, or higher points for the larger groups of hexes. Alrighty. Now, there's one more really important thing to talk about, and that is going to be when the dice are rolled. Okay, so we marked our hourglass. Then we are going to be choosing one combination of color and number. Okay, very much like our game last week, Encore. One combination of color and number. All right, so in this roll, we could use a purple. Now, let me just check the blue and the purple. Yeah, those are pretty different. So we have a purple and we have a yellow. We have a 3 and we have a 1. So a combination could be a 3 of purple, a 1 of purple, a 3 of yellow, or a 1 of yellow. All right, now not every number is useful for every color. And there's a little indicator. Yeah, purple is nice and dark in this one. Not every number is useful for every color. So in the top left, you'll see that purple needs 1s or 2s, okay? Right now we have a 1 available to us, so we could take a purple 1. We could not take a purple 3, okay? And I'll talk about, there are a few special abilities later that would allow us to kind of break the rules a little bit. But we could take a purple 1, we could write it in any of the purple hexes and write a 1. However, that decision, that hex that we write into, must be adjacent to an existing hex that we fill. So for example, we're starting with 1 castle. This round, if we don't have a purple adjacent to that castle we started on, we actually cannot take a purple. The second, yes, so that is purple, okay? That is the monasteries. Now, each of the different colors has their requirements to the left, so we'll just go through them real quick. So the gray, the mines, has a 3 or a 4 requirement. The blue rivers has a 5 or a 6 requirement. The cities has not equal requirement. So every single 1, 2, 3, 4, all of these hexes in a group must not be equal to another hex in that color group. Okay. The city hex is equal to an adjacent hex. So to mark in the cities in the future, you must actually, or to cross off a city, you must have an adjacent hex of that number, okay, of the same number. And you'll see there is a green for the city as well, okay. So for example, if we were to have like 4 here, a number 4, and we rolled a green 4, then we could mark this city, all right. And then, so I would mark that city off, and then I would gain a river bonus, which is called Commodities. All right. So there's so those are the requirements for marking. Now, the next thing we want to talk about is what are these little bubbles next to the different types of hexes. So each different type of hex has a different thematic explanation to it. The monasteries, the mines, the rivers, the cities, the castles, and the pastures. All right. Each of them also has a different kind of a bonus that you gain over the course of the game. You gain a bonus when you complete a group of colored hexes. So if I can complete 2 purple hexes, then I would circle one of these purple bubbles that I could use in the future, okay, by crossing it out in the future. You may use 1 ability per round. So these little bubbles over here are essentially abilities, with exception that the blue does not, the blue commodities do not count towards that rule, okay? So 1 ability per round. Now, what do the abilities do? So, for example, the purple monasteries, we're able to, so if you look across the bottom here, we actually have what the abilities do. So if we cross off a purple monk from the monastery, we get to change the color of 1 die. Now, that is not changing the color of 1 die for everybody. That is changing the color of 1 die just for yourself. The second one is the mine. The mine, oh man, what does that mean? All right. You may use a different die combination to mark a second hex the same turn. That's what it is. So for example, if this were a combination here, you could use a purple and a 4, and then a purple and a 1. So that purple 1 would be your second die combination. The second combination could have been a green 4 or a green 1. You just cannot use a purple 4 and a purple 4 twice via the mine. Okay, mines are really powerful. Commodities. Now, commodities will actually get you mines and 2 victory points. The way that you use a commodity, and the commodities do not follow the once per round rule for the once per round rule for using an ability. Okay, the way you get a commodity, just like all the other things, is by filling in the colored group of hexes that are blue. All right, you would then circle commodity. Commodities, you may sell, I think, any number of commodities. Yeah. You sell all of your commodities, actually. So all of your checked commodities. Anytime, and this is a may, you may sell all your commodities anytime this blue hourglass is rolled. So the double hourglass is rolled. Progressing the game further, faster. The commodities will get you 1 mine, so you would then mark a mine that you could use, and you would mark down 2 victory points. Anytime you score victory points in this game, you're actually going to be logging them as well in this area of the board. Okay. So that's the commodities. The workers. Workers are a little bit similar to the monks. So workers are orange. Okay. Anytime you're using an orange, you are able to adjust the number on the die. So that's pretty simple. The castle, for marking off a castle, you just get a free one of these abilities or powers. So each castle has a different power on the sheet. And then the last one, the pastures. The pastures would actually double the victory points associated with that pasture. Okay, and I believe that is how that works. Doubling the victory points. Yep. Okay, so pastures are really powerful. You'll notice that there are not big pastures in sheet A, so we're all going to be using sheet A, and but pastures could double the victory points when that happens. So in the first round, completing a pasture of 2 would get you 8 points instead of 4, which is pretty awesome. Okay, any questions? The game is done when all 3 of these columns are filled out. Any questions? This one's a little bit crunchier to explain than the last couple, but it's enjoyable. So let's just get into it, and if I don't see any questions, we'll get going. All right. Let me just make sure I got everything cleared away. Yeah, and we'll go, we'll go real slow. So I'll use a little darker pen too. Yeah, awesome. Yeah, pretty similar. And I think you guys might have a leg up if you've played the board game, because I actually have not. So this is just the dice game. All right, here's some light music. Okay, let me grab the turn counter. I don't think we actually need the turn counter in this game, do we? I don't think we do. All right. So, we start the game by, we start the first game playthrough by rolling the dice, as always. All right, so we're gonna mark off one of these hourglasses up top. Actually, before we do that, we should be marking one of the castles. All right, so go ahead and mark one of the 4 castles. And it doesn't matter. Yeah, we're picking a castle, exactly. I'm gonna go ahead and pick the one with the mine, because I said the mines are powerful. When you mark your castle, you're going to circle the relevant bonus that the castle presents you. All right? I'm gonna go ahead and re-roll, but we'll say that it was 1. Yeah, there we go, 1. 1 hourglass. All right, now we're off and running. So you can mark a gray 4 or a blue 4. Now, for example, a blue 4 is not a legal mark unless you were to use a power. I'm kind of erasing my board a little bit. Okay. Here's actually another great rule, because we've started out in a way that is not super helpful with this roll. So for me, I actually don't have a gray 4 adjacent to my castle, or a gray adjacent to my castle, so I'm not able to mark the gray 4. Instead of doing that, I do get to circle a worker. So if I cannot make a mark, I can circle a worker. All right. And workers can change the number of a die, so I will do that. All right. And that was an uneventful first roll, but here we go. Purple, purple, 3 and a 5. That's super garbage. I think I need to start playing, though. So I'm going to go ahead and use a worker. Change my number from a 3 down to a 1. Okay. All right. So the decision space is actually pretty small, even though there's quite a bit of rules. And that was something I noticed right away when I was first learning this game. Yeah, and with the purple placement for sure. How's it going, John? Welcome to the global game night. I think we all might have chose the wrong castle. So this one is 2 ticks on our hourglass. Unfortunately, we have a yellow 1, a yellow, a green, a 4, and a 1. All right, what do we got here? This yellow is nice and flexible, actually. I kind of like that. Green is not helpful yet. All right, we're gonna go the 4 here. And remember, if you can't make a mark, you're going to, circle a worker. Workers do give you a fair bit of flexibility. All right. A little bit of a slow start for everyone, because that's like the exact same roll. But I like that one. I like that one. All right. I am definitely taking that 4 here. So that will complete my group of 2 pastures. All right, the 2 hexes. instead of 4 points, that is going to be going straight to the board for 8 points. Alrighty. If you have any questions about the different symbols or the different powers, feel free. I'll try to use them, you know, as early as possible as I can. That's gross. Well, first off, 2 hourglasses. We're rolling a lot of yellow here. Yellow, yellow, 2, and a 4. So I cannot play. So I will circle a worker. Castle pick is deceivingly interesting. Is it? Yeah, I don't think so. Remember, you know, use workers, you know, to... I think yellow is really hurting us right now. We're rolling a lot of yellow. And the monasteries changed the color. 3 workers. Yeah, we're gonna say there's a prize. If you get to 8 workers, you get a prize. Unnamed what the prize is, but there's definitely a prize. Oh, this is brutal. Okay, this might be a fast game. So 2 hourglasses, purple, purple, 1 and a 6. So at least the purple 1 is nice. All right, purple 1, and I am gonna go ahead and score 4 more points. So I actually am feeling pretty good about this round. I think the rolls have been horrible, but I've eked out some usefulness, some utility, some points. All right. I like rolling rights that have a tracker, a time tracker. I think that's really a really useful part because you don't forget where you are in the game. It's really nice. All right, and that is going to be the conclusion of the first round. What do they call them in the game? Is it ages? Let's see. Phases. So they just call it phases. And I thought it'd be a little more thematic. Okay, blue, purple, 4/4. Man, it's brutal. So I am gonna use my monastery, my monk, change the color to green, and use that 4 to unlock a commodity. So once the powers start hitting, you know, it helps a little bit. I think actually starting out with a worker or a monastery might be a really strong castle choice early on, just because it like the utility that it provides right away. Okay. So we are going on into age 2, so you cannot score these values anymore. You are scoring everything under the second column. Yellow 6, green 6, and a 1 hourglass. That is garbage. Can't do that. Okay. How about that? I think I need to use my mine really to get me going too. I kind of forgot to use that right away. I should have blew right into the purples there with that mine. All right. We have a blue, a yellow, a 4, and a 5. So the blues finally are able to make a mark. We're on the board. First off, hourglass. Something I'm noticing is opening up the map is really important in this game. All right, rocking and rolling. All right. 3 and a 2, a blue and a purple. Yeah, it's on my list to play. I really, Every time I pass on it, I'm just like, shame on me. I got to do that. All right, purple. That's good. That's good. Like over there. Grab another purple. Grab a 1 point. Something, right? All right. We have, what do we have here? We have 1 hourglass, we have a green, a purple, a 3, and a 4. So, green, purple, 3, and a 4. That's not super helpful for me. Question I always ask is it worth using a color change? I really need. We have yet to roll an orange this game, and I think that's been really hurtful. All right, I'm gonna grab another worker. We are orangeless. It is a Florida drought, apparently. Right. Yellow 2 and a yellow 5. Really got nothing here. This is garbage. I think I need to just start changing. Start color changing. We'll color change there. Color change to a blue. Blue at least opens me slightly more options. Don't even care about finishing something off right now, I don't think. Just need more options, right? More areas to play. One, a 3, a yellow, and a green. And still yet to roll an orange. This is incredible. I don't understand. Is there orange on? I'm just gonna have to inspect these dice really soon here. I see orange showing over here, but this is awful. 1, 3, yellow, and a green. Well, we're definitely going to have to use a worker. Open that castle up. Grab another worker. Alright. Got to make do. Sometimes you got to really look for a play in this game, I think. It's not immediately obvious where the play is. We have an orange, everybody. And we have a gray. I think this might be our first gray as well. Wow. Orange and gray. Just non-existent today. That's like 14, that's like 14 rolls or something. 13 rolls without an orange and a gray. I'm gonna have to do some mathematics on what those odds are. All right, 2 and a 3. That's great. I mean, what is the likelihood that we're gonna get another orange and a gray, right? Nobody knows. Green, orange, 1, 3, and an hourglass. Okay. Now we have a double hourglass. Okay. At this point, I'm going to choose to sell commodities. I will open up a mine and score 2 victory points. Blue, orange, 2, 6. That's nice. Alright, If you finish the, if you fill up the entire group of color, the color group, make sure you score the points of that phase. All right, and that is going to push us over to the end of 2. I don't believe we would carry that over. 6 and a 5. Yeah, let me explain selling commodities. So if you have a blue circled over here, that means you've stored inventory. If we roll a double hourglass, at that point you may choose to cross out all of your circled inventory, your circled commodities, and sell them. What that gets you a mine. So I circled a mine up here when I did that. Plus, I also wrote 2 victory points. So you get a mine and 2 victory points for every single one of these blue bubbles that you have circle and then cross out. However, the reason why it's a little bit of a gamble is because of, I think it's a little thematic, right? Like supply and demand almost. So just because you have something to sell doesn't mean you're going to find someone to buy it. So the blue die, I think, represents like, oh, you were able to sell it. Now you get the benefits from it, the mine and the victory points. Does that make sense? All right, we got a yellow, orange, 5, and a 6. Okay, cool. Yellow, orange, 5, 6. And it's really nice to look if you can complete something right before the end. In my case, I could complete the orange, but I don't think that really helps. Yeah. I think we're just going to keep going on this one over here. All right. Phase 3. Phase 3. Here we go. A 5, a 6, a yellow, and an orange. It's like the exact same roll as last time. It's pretty cool. Literally the same roll and the double hourglass. Deja vu. All right. It's gonna be 2 points over here. Now, we've had a fair number of these these double hourglass rolls, so a lot of opportunities to sell commodities, but it doesn't always happen. Sometimes you'll play the game, and late in the game, you don't get to sell the commodities. A 5, a 4, an orange, a purple, and 1 hourglass. Purple is kind of useless. Orange is potential. Orange has got a lot of flexibility. I like that one. The possibility of filling in 4 is pretty low. So I think I'm just gonna snag this 1 point. And a worker. A lot of workers. Time to start using those workers. 1 green, a green, and a 5. And 1 hourglass. Green. Okay, green's good for me. A lot of greens. One thing we forgot to talk about, my fault. There are values up here on the corners for finishing all of that color, okay? And I think the easiest way to play it, yeah, got all your greens, okay. The easiest way to play this one is just to do, yeah, so yeah, good call. Let's do the solo rules for getting all the colors. And I think the solo rules, let's see. In phases 1 or 2, higher amount of victory points for completing color. In phase 3, you gain the lower amount. So that would be the solo rules. Phases 1 or 2, you would gain the higher amount for the color. Phases 3, you would gain the lower amount for the color. I think that's a great call, John. All right. Everyone pick their poison for the greens. Sorry. It's a practice game. That's why we do it this way. I'm like notorious for missing one rule to teach. That was the one. So I should just back up for a second. If you complete all of one of the colors, for example, orange, you would have 6 points, and then 3 points if you are the second person to complete it. Within the solo rules, if you complete it in the first phase or second phase, you get the higher points. If you complete it in the third phase, the lower points. Okay. There is the more robust explanation. Orange, purple, 1, 2. Okay. Purple seems good. Really did not get a lot of orange opportunity this game. All right, what do we got here? Two hourglasses, yellow, purple, 2, and a 5. Okay, I'll take that. All right, next up, what do we got here? We have 1 hourglass, orange, green, 3, and a 5. I'm kind of running out of useful things to do. Alright. I think we're all going to end up with a lot of workers, potentially. I just have not had a need to use them. We got 5, 3, yellow, green, and 2 hourglasses. Yellow pastures double your points. I don't think I'm going to get all of one color. It's okay. There's always next game, right? Alright, that's going to be the last roll for this one. We have a 1, a 3, a yellow, and a green. Let's open for blue. Could color change and number change, but I can't do that at the same time because it's 1 power per round. So I got lucky because I can color change and grab the ore over here with a 3. We grab another mine. I did not use my abilities very well, so I'm gonna have to work on that for next round. But that would be another 2 points. All right, that will be the end of the practice game, the playthrough, and we're just going to go ahead and sum up our points, and then we'll talk a little bit of strategy, and we'll roar into the main event. So we'll compete for the global bragging rights, and of course, Ethan has a 3-game win streak going, so somebody needs to beat him. Okay. Oof. Did not get any of the colors. Nice. I'm gonna score 29. Yeah, awesome. All right, so that would be, yeah, so that's the first little bit.